Humans are a strange species. For most of our history, philosophers have noted that the way we think of ourselves is very strange. Though we like to think of ourselves as rational, capable thinkers, science and philosophy alike have determined that humans tend to make irrational decisions and take in massive amounts of information with questionable reliability. Some thinkers, especially theologians, try to resolve these issues by defining humans as a single thing, such as rational animals or immortal souls. Existentialism is the study of human existence and what it means to be human. Unlike other schools of philosophy, existentialists take a very broad view of humanity and don't try to determine a fixed definition for humans. Existentialists embrace ambiguity instead of denying its existence in order to determine the meaning behind things like purpose, identity, and free will. At the end of the day, existentialists believe that you are in control of your choices and you are the one that has to live with them, so making the right choice is more about your own moral fortitude and what will eat at your conscience. Rather than telling you what to do or how to live your life, existentialism encourages you to think for yourself and become an active participant in life. By doing this, you are forced to make your own choices that may not always be apparent or easy to understand, but they will surely be yours and yours alone. Putting faith in moral doctrines that provide quick fixes can lead to tragedy and injustice because they discourage the personal vigilance existentialists believe is necessary for a fulfilling life. Each person has the potential to become aware of their existence and how ambiguous it is. Beauvoir classifies it in a few different ways. First was the subman, someone who just goes with the flow and does what he is expected to do. The second was the serious man, he's a sheep. The serious man believes himself to be making his own choices, but he is really following the flock. Next up is the nihilist. The nihilist values are subjective, therefore there is no universal right or wrong. Given her view that the values of all people are merely opinions, the nihilist chooses not to act in accordance with any universal principles. Since there is no right or wrong, she uses her freedom to pursue her own interests. Finally, there was the adventurer. The adventurer is someone who lives life to its fullest, without regard for others or society at large. But if she figures out how to care for others, she'll have the greatest potential of all. The idea that critics, or anyone else, can adopt a disinterested or objective perspective is an illusion. It's impossible to exist without any opinions or biases. We interpret the world through our own subjective lens, and anything we choose to say about it is by definition influenced by that same subjective lens. Being apolitical is being political. A real apolitical stance would be to dissolve the company. It's a tacit endorsement of the current regime. As long as we exist, we have an active role in society and the community in which we operate. We must accept this responsibility and take action accordingly. Oppression is something that happens to groups of people when they are forced into a situation where they no longer have control over their own future. This can happen in any aspect of their lives because they are denied the right to decide what happens to them, even though they have been given the ability to influence it. When oppressed, people also become things which is a violation of their humanity because it means that they are not treated as human beings. There's always the possibility of change, a small possibility that can be perceived as insignificant but may lead to a major shift in power relations. Power holders try to sway the disadvantaged group to believe that their plight is normal. Therefore, oppression is inherently unstable. No matter how long it has lasted, it can be upended by revealing its nature as unjust and inefficient. Human lives are more important than abstract values. The reason why is simple: a live person, unlike a value, can be changed or destroyed at any moment. If you treat people as tools to achieve your ends, you will lose all of your friends and relatives. Values are great, but they should not take the place of people when making critical decisions. Violence should only ever be used in defense of real people, never as a tool to further an ideal. No group can call itself nonviolent and reach its objectives if it resorts to violence in any way other than self-defense. Violence is never ideal. It's always a last resort when dialogue doesn't work. What matters is the underlying goal, fighting for the human rights of those who are oppressed.